My name is Victor Daniel Natividad, and today I'm going to be reading about the First Liberal Church by Charles F. Skinner. The novel The First Liberal Church, written by Charles M. Skinner, emphasizes the timely arrival of John Murray in Good Luck, New Jersey during the year 1770. Murray views his entrance to America from England as a spiritual and emotional crisis after he loses his wife and children in England. Murray faced a challenging situation, and he is broken in his power of thought and purpose, claiming that he would not become capable of preaching again. Thomas Potter helps Murray change his life with a prophetic encounter of America's religious history. With the new life that he will have in New Jersey, Murray believes he will have a better purpose in his life and not survive a miserable future. He then claims that he has a mission of faith and hope for his future life. His arrival in the New World is decided by a passenger on the brig in hand when it goes ashore. The narrative demonstrates how a prophetic encounter between a man overwhelmed by personal tragedy and a faithful local visionary leads to the establishment of a church defined by love and inclusivity rather than fear. Murray's arrival and despair describes how John Murray entered America after losing part of his family during the years that he lived in England. He experienced a loss of faith and deep sorrow while immigrating from another country, indicating that he would never have the strength to preach the truth of God's holy word. His psychological and spiritual collapse dealt with the loss of will, overcoming a passive survival, and human vulnerability. His emotional despair when coming to the United States is described as a desolate beach, highlighting his basic human vulnerability and lack of spiritual direction at the moment. The survival of the shipwreck made him feel worried about his immediate hunger rather than any spiritual calling in which he had before. The meeting with Thomas Potter happens when Murray tries to purchase food from the old guy. A prophetic encounter monitored the meeting of Potter and Murray, serving as the shock of recognition, conflict of God's calling, and having a new life in Christ. The fisherman Thomas Potter declares that he would lecture on the boat about a God of love and mercy rather than the traditional God of terrors. He explains his experience of building a log church and waiting for a call for serving in the clergy. When the storm occurred, Potter heard a voice about a stranded man on the abandoned ship would be the one to teach of a God of love and mercy rather than the old God of terrors. Hearing the voice in the middle of the storm made Potter learn about a God of love and mercy. While Potter was in the church, he illustrates the liberal religious transformation of which offers the folk's tale of its name. A Legacy of Gentle Doctrine by Charles Skinner analyzes when John Murray refuses to preach at the church he currently serves at. His conviction led him to prayer and answering God's call. Potter's prophecy involves a strange lifting in his heart, indicating a sudden spiritual healing that restores his broken mission. When Murai was in the lonely village for a while, he listened to a guide who refuses to talk about God through gentle doctrines. The vision of inclusivity outlines how the church building was eventually breathed by Murai to be free for the use of all Christians. During Potter's death, the church was left with Murai indicating that all Christian people can obtain their freedom. In the village, Murai was evangelizing gentle doctrines to the residents of the city. This detail reinforces on how the liberal church was established through the principle of openness and universal access to God. In conclusion, the transformation of John Murai was formed into a man who previously lived a life in desperation and formed into a pioneer of a new religious movement. The shift to gentle doctrines fulfills Thomas Potter's prophecy of teaching about a God of love and mercy rather than the traditional God of terrors. In the United States, the Universalist movement signifies transforming beliefs of the congregation in America. Passing the torch between Potter and Murai features the heartfelt connection of the fisherman apostle. A legacy of inclusivity phrases the quote regarding the first liberal church which handed on the church to be free for the use of all Christians. During their meeting together, they both prayed and faced ill-fated situations which may cause a firm foundation for community and spiritual revival. Murray's arrival in America Murray's arrival in America highlights the wrong to call, symbolizing how universalism in the United States was established. This novel, The First Liberal Church by Charles Skinner, concludes with great sorrow in the days ahead. A nascent community of believers will lay the groundwork for a shared vision.